Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, sir. We are from Group 1 and we will presenting our presentation, tenses and technical word. Before that, we will introduce ourselves.
First, I will introduce myself. My name is Abdul Ghofur with number I04210001.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Akhmad with number I04210002.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Ahmad Rifky with number I04210003.
My name is Adika Maja Alif with number I04210004.
And my name is Aditya with number I04210005.
So from the first section, introduction section, we can conclude that from first paragraph, we can conclude there is no such thing as an easy experiment because experiment need advanced measurement methods because every person do not have advanced knowledge about measurement. From the second paragraph, we can conclude that the globalization in which several electronic devices, because electronic devices have evolved to assist engineers in carry out faster, efficient, and precise measurement methods. And the last one, the paragraph, we can conclude, therefore, to make successful experiment, we require advanced knowledge and deep knowledge of the data to be experimented with. As you can see in this first paragraph, there is no such thing as an easy experiment, nor is there any substitute for careful experimentation in many areas of basic research and applied product development, because experimentation is so important in all phases of engineering. There is a very definite need for the engineer to be familiar with the methods of measurements as analysis techniques for interpreting experimental data. So you can see in the first paragraph, all sentence using simple present paragraph. The indicators is from the using to be is, is. That means the sentence can be used anytime or forever. Next, in the second paragraph, experimental techniques have changed quite rapidly with the development of electronic device for sensing primary physical parameters and for controlling process variables. In many instances, more precision is now possible in the measurements of basic physical quantities through the use of this new device. As you can see in the first sentence in second paragraph, the sentence with blue colors, that means sentence using simple present perfect sentence. This statement indicator is using of have changed word, that means the activity was started in the past and still progress until now. And you can see in last sentence in this slide using simple present tense. Next slide. Next slide. Now, in the first sentence you can see it's still using simple present. And in third paragraph, obviously, a sound knowledge of many engineering principles is necessary to perform successful experiments. It is from the It is for these reasons that experiments is so difficult. To design the experiment, the engineer must be able to specify the physical variables to be investigated and the role they will play in later analytical work. Then, to design or presume the instrumentation for the experiment, the engineer must have a knowledge of the governing principles of a broad range of instruments. Finally, to analyze the data, the experimental engineer must have a combination of keen insight into the physical principle of the process being investigated and a knowledge of the limitation of the data. Yep, you can see all of this third paragraph using simple present, except the pilot one. Why? Because the pilot sentence is using simple future. The indicator is the using of will words.
From introduction text, find some technical word and I will explain the meaning technical word from introduction text. The first, mechanical engineering. Mechanical engineering is that branch of engineering concerned with energy conversion, stress analysis, vibration, dynamic, and kinematics, especially applied to design, machine design, mechanical engineering design. The parameters have two meanings. The first, a quantity that is constant in a particular case under consideration in which independent variables are changed, but which takes a different value in another investigation of the same problem. The second, one of the independent variables that determine the values of the dependent variables in a physical problem. And the last, development. Development is the task required to perfect the design of a new product. The material from which it should be made and the most appropriate manufacturing process. Thanks.
First paragraph explain about meaning of limits. After that, in second paragraph, the text give an example about the limits, and the third paragraph describe about average speed.
The paragraph 4 until 6 is discussed about how we can determine the area of rectangles and triangles using geometric formulas, but not with circles. To find the area of a circle, Archimedes has had the idea for more than 2000 years by using polygons that are inside a circle. By calculating the area of the polygons that is inside the circle, we can calculate the area of the circle. Accuracy can be determined based on the size of the area of the polygons that is inside the circle. Other than that, for the x function with a straight line can be determined by the distance formula. But to determine a curved line, we can calculate it by connecting many points with a line, and that line is the length of the curve.
Now, my part is text about limits, paragraph 1 until paragraph 3. The sentence that blocked by yellow is simple past tense, and the word that colored red is technical word. Now, the title is Problems Leading to the Limit Concepts. The concept of limit is central to many problems in the physical, engineering, and social sciences. Basically, the question is this: what happens to the function f(x) as x gets close to some constant c? There are variations on this theme, but the basic idea is the same in many circumstances. Suppose that as an object steadily moves forward, we know its position at any given time. We denote the position at timer by s t. How fast is the object moving at the time t equal to 1? We can use the formula distance equals rate times time to find the speed, rate of change of position over any interval of time. In other words, speed equal to distance per time. We call this the average speed over the interval, since no matter how small the interval is, we never know whether the speed is constant over this interval. For example, over the interval 1, 2, the average is S2 minus S1 per 2 minus 1. Over the interval 1, 1.2, the average speed is S 1.2 minus S1 per 1.2 minus 1. Over the interval 1 and 1.02, the average speed is S 1.02 minus S1 per 1.02 minus 1, etc. How fast is object traveling at time t equal to 1? To give meaning to this instantaneous velocity, we must talk about the limit of the average speed over smaller and smaller intervals.
Okay, next to the paragraph 4 until 6, but still on the text about limits. We start on the first sentence on paragraph 4. We can find areas of rectangles and triangles using formulas from geometry. But what about regions with curved boundaries, such as circle? This sentence is talk about a fact, and as we can see, there is a verb one that it means that this sentence is a simple present tense. Next, uh, Archimedes had this idea over 2000 years ago. This sentence is talk about something that's happened on the past. As we can see, there is a head words that mean that this sentence is simple past tense. Next, imagine regular polygons inscribed in a circle as shown in figure 1. This sentence seems like first sentence. It's talk about a fact that mean that the sentence is simple present tense. Next to the fourth sentence, Archimedes was able to find the area of a regular polygons with n sides, and by taking the regular polygon with more and more sides, he was able to approximate the area of a circle to any desired level of accuracy. Seems like a second sentence. As we can see, there is a was. It means that this this is this activity was happened on the past. It means that the sentence is simple past. In the other words, the area of the circle is the limit of the areas of the inscribed polygons as n, or the number of sides in the polygons increases without bound. This sentence is talk about a fact. and the predicate that this sentence use is verb one. So sentence is uh, using simple present tenses. Next to the fifth paragraph, consider the graph of the function y equal fx for x more than a and less than b. The sentence is talk about fact that we conclude that the sentence is simple present tense. I think all of this sentence on fifth paragraph is simple present tense, but in this paragraph, we can see there is several conditional sentence, especially uh, type 0. Type 0 is conditional sentence that have probability 100% or uh, the other words, it's actually happen. Like if the graph is a straight line, the length of the curve is easy to find using the distance formula. And the other example is if we add up the length of this line segment, we should get a sum that is approximately the length of the curve. There is two example of conditional sentence. Next, we going to the sixth paragraph, paragraph 6. The last three paragraphs describe situations that lead to the concept of limit. This sentence is talk about a fact, and we can see the verb is verb one, which means that the sentence is simple present tense. Next, there are many others, and we will study them throughout this book. As we can see, there is a will. It means that this this activity will happen on the future. So we concluded that the sentence is simple future. Next, we begin with an intuitive explanation of limits. Uh, it's a simple present tense because there is a verb one that the sentence use. Next, the last sentence of paragraph 6. The precise definition is given in the next section. There is. That means that this sentence is using simple present tense. Next, we would like to talk about technical words. On the paragraph 4 until 6, there are several technical words that contain on the text. For the first one is formulas. Formulas has several different meanings depending on the field in which the term is used. For example, a mathematical formula is a relationship expressed using numbers and symbols. A chemical formula defines the atomic structure of a chemical compound. In computing, a formula is a calculating performed on one or more variables. In the text, formula that we use is mathematical formula because it contains number and symbol. Next, there is a line. Line is connects to point via the shortest path and continues indefinitely forever in both directions. Next, we have line segment. Line segment is a part of a line between 2 points. Next one, segment. Segment is one of the parts into which something naturally spared or is divided, or a division, portion, or section. Next, we have polygon. Polygon is any two-dimensional shape formed with straight line. Next, sum. Sum is the aggregate of two or more numbers, magnitude, quantities, or particular as determined by or as if by the mathematical process of addition. Next, accuracy. Accuracy is the condition or quality of being true, correct, or exact, freedom from error or defect, precision or exactness, or correctness. The last one is geometry. Geometry is the branch of mathematics concerned with the properties and relations of points, lines, surface, solids, and higher dimensional colors. Next.
In the text industrial prime movers, there are one paragraph in the text, and I will to explain in one sentence about it. Most industrial processes require objects or substance to be moved from one location to another. In this presentation, I will explain you about tenses in the text industrial prime mover. Most industrial processes require object or substance to be moved from one location to another, or a force to be applied to hold, shape, or compress a product. Such activities are performed by prime mover, the workhorse of manufacturing industries. In many locations, prime mover or electrical rotary motion can be provided by simple motors, and linear motion can be obtained from rotary motion by devices such as screw jack or rack pinions. Where pure force or a short linear stroke is required, a solenoid may be used, although there are limits to the force that can be obtained by these means. Electrical devices are not, however, the only means of providing prime movers. Enclosed fluids, both liquid and gases, can also be used to convey energy from one location to another and consequently to produce rotary or linear motion or apply a force. Fluid-based systems using liquids as transmission media are called hydraulic systems, from the Greek words hydra for water and aulos for a pipe, description which imply fluids are water, although oil are more commonly used. Gas-based systems are called pneumatic systems, from Greek pneuma for wind or breath. The most common gas is simple compressed air, although nitrogen is occasionally used. What does the red letter mean? I will explain you in the next slide. Tenses in text industrial prime mover. There are several tenses in the text. First, and the opening paragraph is term most, and it belongs to superlative. Second is the word be moved, include in past perfect tense. And then another in the sentence, one location to another can be adjective and pronoun, but in sentence, purpose of the sentence is adjective. Next, the sentence of such activities are performed by prime mover, the workhorse of manufacturing industries, include passive sentence. Then, location in sentence, in many locations, belong to simple present which many is plural verb. Another sentence is rotary motion can be provided by simple motors and linear motion can be obtained from rotary motion by devices such as screw jacks or rack pinions belong to passive sentence. And then a include indefinite article. Next, the word force belong to a passive sentence. After that, sentence that can be obtained belong to simple past tenses. And then the sentence of includes fluids, both liquid and gases, can also be used to convey energy from one location to another and consequently to produce rotary on or linear motion or apply of force belong to tenses of passive and simple present tense. Next to the word of which is included in conjunction of subject. Another sentence again in the text is a commonly used and there include of passive sentence. Then the word simply is a simple present tense. Toward to the end is word although which this word mean be a conjunction. Last of the sentence in this text is occasionally used, belong to passive sentence and simple present tense. Thanks.
From industrial prime mover text, find some technical word, and I will explain the meaning of technical word from industrial prime mover text. The first, transmission. Transmission is the action or process of transmitting something or the state of being transmitted, and the mechanism by which power is transmitted from an, an engine to the wheels of a motor vehicle. The second, fluid. Fluid is a substance that has no fixed shapes and yield easily to external pressure, a gas or especially a liquid. The third, hydraulic. Hydraulic is denoting relation to or operated by a liquid moving in a confined space under pressure and relation to the science of hydraulics. The last, stroke. Stroke is an act of hitting or striking someone or something. A blow and a mark made by drawing a pen, pencil, or paintbrush in one direction across paper or canvas. After that explanation, we can conclude that in that text contain many tenses such as passive voice, modal verb, conjunction, simple past tense, simple future tense, and simple present tense. But simple present tense dominates the text because this text is classified to description text. That's little bit about our presentation. Thank you for your attention. Good afternoon and see you next time. Don't forget, subscribe, like, and comment our YouTube channel. Thank you.